Brace the rudder! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
If you thought goldenly breaded McDonald's chicken couldn't get more golden, think Golder, because new sweet and smoky special edition gold sauce is here. Made for your chicken favorites at participating McDonald's for a limited time.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writings of your favorite novels. This autumn-ish, we are hosting a book club while we prepare our 10-part literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Heir of Fire.
This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And each week we'll discuss one book from our autumn-ish book club roster. By using our literary background, we'll provide our flash analysis of each book, as well as discuss listener thoughts. This is part one of this week's episode, where we're discussing When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker.
The views expressed by the hosts are entirely their own and in no way represent the thoughts or intentions of the original author. This podcast is a discussion shared to spark thought and conversation on the characters and themes of this novel. The interpretations presented in this podcast are just a few of many possibilities. Listeners are encouraged to read along and share their own analysis of the text.
Though the hosts speak mostly within the constraints of this book, serious spoilers may be discussed with or without warning. Explicit language as well as themes of sex, violence, abuse, depression, self-harm, and death will recur throughout this podcast. Listener discretion is advised. If you're enjoying the podcast, check out our Patreon for more exclusive content. You can find us at patreon.com/booktalkforbooktalk. This has nothing to do with anything, but I feel like it's important to share. I had the world's most life-altering nap today.
Oh, really?
It was soul healing. It was groundbreaking. I'm going to think about this nap for years. It was the best nap of my life.
That's really good for you.
Yeah, so I'm here ready for this episode.
You're like, I am jazzed.
Have a lot of thoughts. I think the hardest thing about this book has not been talking about it with you. Because
we broke our rule in that we did make some side comments to each other about it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we have held back.
I wouldn't have been able to survive if I hadn't made some side comments. That would have lasted. Okay. Hands up, tits up.
I just grabbed my boobs for the listener who doesn't know.
I did mine too, and I forgot I'm wearing a sports bra. Okay. You first. Oh, I can go first if you need me to.
Yeah, please go first.
Okay. A high fantasy book, but reads like a romance novel.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. I completely agree with you.
Thank you.
Okay, for me. Loved the world building and character development, but was repetitious.
This is a book that I feel like is pretty divided. When I read through some comments, when I've talked to some people, this is a book that people have either said that this was the best book that they read in 2024. This is one of their all-time favorite books. And other people were just saying, no, this is not, like, this wasn't it for them.
I could see how it's so divisive, and I feel like it is one of those books where you have to be in the right mindset when you go into it.
I don't know if anyone can be in the right mindset going into this. I had to go and watch a bunch of TikToks explaining it to me to better understand what the hell was happening.
In terms of like what, because there are different words for everything, right? Aurora cycle, phases,
That was the easiest.
slumber.
And then I didn't put together that everything above the fade is always in daylight. Everything below the fade is always in night. So an aurora cycle doesn't necessarily mean day or night, but that's why they say.
Oh, I didn't
slumber.
realize that.
Thank you. When did that happen?
Yeah. One of the things that it took me a really long time to figure out, I thought all dragons were called moon plumes. I didn't realize there were 3 different types of dragons, including the saber scythes and molten maws.
They're apparently, because we listened to the audiobook, and it's unfortunate because I feel like that both helped and did a huge disservice because apparently there's like a crap ton of pages of just world building, explaining the different dragons, because each dragon comes from different, there's like the shade, the fade, and then,
If you have to give me an encyclopedia to understand your book,
I'm not on board.
no. I mean, it's one of those things, I enjoy encyclopedias about a book after I've read the book.
If you want to have it, put it at the end. If you need it at the beginning, I already know I'm not going to be a huge fan of the writing style. And the reason why I say that is because that means there's going to be a fair amount of, I'm not going to explain a single thing to you. And I understand not wanting to info dump, but you're not world building anymore. We're in this world. You've built nothing for me. You have thrown me into this.
Which, from a writing perspective, if we think about Rave, she was kind of thrown into this world too after she lost her memories. And I can understand how, for a large book, doing a slow build up to the world would be time consuming because it's already very long.
Yeah.
It's still possible.
It's extremely possible because one thing I told Amy, I would immediately cut the first 17 chapters. Was not needed. We did not need the majority of this book, unfortunately. Like the big part of the first however many chapters we could cut. And I extra emphasize that because there wasn't any world building in there. Like if you're taking the time to build this world, kind of like what you're just saying, like, it can be daunting. It can feel like it can take forever. She's already taking forever. She's already taking forever to get to where the hell we're going. So if you're going to take the time to drag us along through this, then take the time for this world.
You have some very strong feelings.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about this. I was like, I can't not talk about this anymore. I do want to start off by saying that I have a lot of notes. I don't want that to come off as I hate this book. I did not hate this book. I thought there was a lot of interesting things. I think this book would have really benefited from a traditionally published editor.
I agree. I really enjoyed the characters. I really enjoyed the character development that we got to see. I enjoy the twists and the turns. And did I foresee it? Yeah, I saw it coming. However, from a story point of view and from a character point of view, I enjoyed the ride.
Yeah.
But I do think it could have been punchier by tightening it.
One of my last notes because I actually went in and did like phone notes as I was going. So I will go back and reference that. I don't do that for a lot of the books that we cover. So every once in a while when I have it, I have a lot of opinions there. But the last note I made, and I think that this sets it up for me, when I read a romance book, rom-com, whatever, sometimes there's no plot. The romance is the plot. Sometimes there's, like Megan Quinn, we are in a summer camp, couples counseling summer camp for 7 days. And now you have like the 7-day thing, right? Or you need to be my fake boyfriend until the wedding. Like sometimes there's some things like that. And other times it's just, that's the progression of the romance. And that's okay. This book did not have plot. What was driving it? There was nothing. Her wanting revenge was very like there was not, like, other than the romance and their story, there was not much to it, which is okay. but it feels so, for me, my biggest sticking point is like she created this incredible, detailed, high fantasy world. She thought so much into that. She put so much time and consideration into that the book then reads like a romance novel and there's no plot behind it. You know what I mean? Like the love story that's kind of half done. Like I love the love story, but again, that's like something that didn't have a little punch to it either.
Yeah. Nothing really took center stage.
Yeah.
Except maybe Rave barely confronting what's inside her.
Yeah.
But that's not enough of a driving force because she spends so much time avoiding it. She's avoiding the relationship. The relationship kind of develops, but not really. She wants to be free, but wants to go get revenge, but doesn't really get the opportunity to pursue revenge. And it's not even coasting along. It's like her trip down the waterfall down the river. It's just like,
Yeah.
what log are we going to end up on now?
Yeah. Her coming to terms with her identity. Everything about that was just kind of brought up immediately where, at first Khan is like, we're going to have to, we can't tell her right away. We need to ease her into it. Told her immediately. Right. And then it's, she needs to process her emotions. And then 30 days pass and she's processed her emotions. Not all the way, but like 30 days pass. And then it's like, well, I've come to accept I'm Elowen. And I'm just like, wow, now that's what we're choosing to skip. That's the part.
Again, there was a lot to enjoy about this book.
Yeah.
There is a lot of room for elevation.
Yeah.
How's that?
I mean, I'm going to buy the book physical. I'm going to get a special edition of this. I'm going to read the next one and I'm going to be very excited, especially since now it's going to be traditionally published and have an editor. We're going to talk about this in a critical way.
Yeah. Because that's
what we do. That's,
yeah.
I know. Go away. If that's not your thing, if you don't want that, I'm sorry.
So let's talk about themes.
Mm-hmm.
What are some themes that we recognized?
I mean, found family is going to be a easy peasy one.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma and not dealing with trauma. And then I would say avoidance is a huge theme. I mean, that's part of avoiding trauma, but
right.
I think avoidance is kind of a really good theme and not one that you see often, but I think this one did it well.
Mm-hmm. Also identity, obviously, but it's not just Elowen versus Rave. There's a lot of identity related to Khan, related to the princess. I was going to say something else. So,
Are you trying to avoid spoilers?
Just in case.
No, we go through this every single time.
Take a sip.
This is a spoiler episode. We're talking about a book that you should have read.
Did you foresee that? That the princess is their daughter?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
No, there wasn't a single surprise in this book to me.
Yeah.
And I am not an intelligent reader. I'm not someone, like, I want to be surprised, so I'm not jumping. I'm not even a level of, like, oh, I can predict it because this is how its writing is going, therefore, like, Moth Knight.
The Knight and the Moth.
That one, I could guess where it was kind of going, but not because, it just made sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was completely and utterly predictable, and to the point where I was kind of outraged. Outrage is such a dramatic word, but I was outraged at the very end when the sister finds the note and is like, and then like, it's her, that's their daughter. And then you get the epilogue and they get the letter and it's me. And I kept thinking, am I missing something? Did I miss something? Or is this as what exactly that I figured out in chapter like 30?
So one thing I did not realize and was revealed in the epilogue that I am excited to see in the next book is the Scavenger King and his identity as Khan's half-brother.
Yeah.
I liked the touch of Nee going to the princess at the end of the book.
Yeah, I like the touch of that for sure.
Because I did wonder for a long time, why spend so much time on Nee and pull our heartstrings on it if it's not going to come back around?
Nee is the little animal thing that delivers the I need you.
It's not an animal. It's basically a paper bird.
Yeah. a thingy. It's a paper bird. Is it mechanical? I'm not entirely sure.
You fold paper and you
into the wild. Yeah, that's me. And then in the note, it's I need you. I mean, it was a nice touch. I can't remember what it was, but there was a moment where I predicted very early on that that was her daughter. I think the moment I realized it was her daughter was when we realized that the notes were Elowen, that the flashback, the diaries were where it was Rave. And then I figured that out pretty quickly, which I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so I'm like, okay, so she's a princess who got married off to the bad guy because it's not Khan and there's only 3 princes here. And we know, and she already said something about a princess that's not, been seen.
Yeah.
And then I was immediately like, okay, well then that's probably that's her daughter.
Yeah.
All of it is like logically concluded. And I don't think that that's like one of those, like another kind of annoying, like for me, I'm like, oh, I would have liked a little bit more digging into some things because all of that I came to the conclusion pretty quickly.
So what you're saying is you would have liked a little bit more mystery, a little bit more or less.
Yeah, maybe a psych out.
Oh, okay. A psycho.
Maybe there was like a stepmom that came into the picture that, raised her since birth, but we don't realize that's her stepmom until later. You know what I mean? Like maybe there was like, I think I would have liked a bigger psych out than anything.
Okay.
Just to mess with me, try harder.
Just to mess with you.
I want to talk about Rave, but I'm going to let you know that in my, like what I'm mentally thinking of throughout this entire book, which is an unfair comparison, but the reason why I'm comparing this in my mind to Quicksilver is because Quicksilver is another very large book that does a lot, that has world building. And that was a book that you and I talked about and said, there is not a single chapter you can take out.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense and I don't know if we want to talk about Rave. And I'm like, now I'm screwing up the order. Do we want to talk about Rave or the structure of the book?
Let's talk about the structure of the book first.
Okay. The structure of the book, the reason why I kept thinking about it, like I was saying to Quicksilver, is because Quicksilver started, I'm just spoiling the first few chapters, so like nothing world ending here. Quicksilver starts like just the first few chapters and the world is immediately changed. The first chapter, worlds change. Literally changing worlds. Like everything happened so immediately. And I kept asking myself, when would I have started this book? Especially since we are going to have Rave kind of cope through the reality that she is Elowen. I would have almost had this book start immediately at her being taken.
Taken by
Khan.
Okay.
Skipped the whole, like, her friend dying, make that a memory, do all those other, like, skip a lot of other things. If you're going to start that process, start with her being taken there. And it's just so much could have been condensed to it because I was like trying to find the beats, right? Like, what's the middle point? What's the end? Because at a certain point, I told you I had like, a few more hours to go because it was when she was going to go hunt for the bad guy.
Yeah.
I looked at my phone. I only had 30 minutes left.
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck? That's what we're ending on? So yeah, the structure.
Yeah. I guess it didn't play by the rules of what you would expect the beats to be. Is that a bad thing? I think that it contributes kind of to the meandering feeling because it doesn't hit predictable beats.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that Elowen and Rave's connection is revealed halfway through the book because by then we've already figured it out. But I also was surprised that they were so quick to reveal it and so quick to introduce new perspectives.
Yeah.
Vea was a surprise for me. And then at the very end, introducing, I was going to say Rourke Farron because I was just listening to her Crown of Midnight.
That's funny.
Whatever the bounty hunter's name is.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking about it from Sarah A. Parker, writer's perspective, starting at where she starts it, the inciting incident is the two of them crossing paths again.
Yeah.
Is that truly an inciting incident if the whole point is Rave identifying herself again?
If this was a romance novel, then it could be.
Yeah.
That's where it keeps coming back for me is if this was a romance novel, then two exes that, one has amnesia and the other one doesn't know, I thought you were dead all this time. And no, she had amnesia, like if that was all a thing, then yeah, that's a great start to it. It almost didn't know what was the twist. Is the twist us, the reader, discovering her identity? Because we discover that very quickly. Or is the twist is Rave discovering her identity? Because again, we don't even get a day of her in this world, in the castle with all these people surrounding her in order for them to be like, by the way, you're Elowen, let me tease this out. So it's almost like we got edged with storylines.
Yeah. Maybe it's a lot of setup for what comes next. We can't tell. To your point, though, I do ask myself, is this the first romantasy forward fantasy I've ever read?
Oh, the most romance forward like fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah. Where
Yes.
it's truly what you would technically define as romantasy.
Our friends keep describing it as like fantasy with romance, romantasy, and romance with fantasy. There's like different degrees. And this is romance
with fantasy.
And it just sucks that the fantasy is so good that
honestly, they kind of, in some ways, take away from each other.
Yeah.
Because, and I agree, and I never thought I would agree to this point. One has to dominate.
Yes.
One has to dominate. It cannot be equal. It is not an equal opportunity household.
Not in this book. I think you can get books that have a lot of fantasy, and I'm going to come back to Quicksilver for this one, just because, again, they're both big books that were indie published first before they got picked up. And that is super heavy on the romance, like super heavy. But I understood the plot that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think potentially it could have been driven up more with the plot. I know with the second book, you're going to get a lot more with the plot. But there was a fair amount of like other things. Like there's a whole ass war happening.
Yeah.
There were battles. There wasn't a battle in this. There was a fight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And when I think about something that is so structured like this, I think Lord of the Rings, right? Like I think something that intricate. And Lord of the Rings has a big ass battle that happens, the whole lore of it is based on a big ass battle. The book ends on a big ass battle. So when you think about a fantasy book that has fantasy normally comes with high stakes, right? Like that's kind of the point. Unless it's a cozy fantasy, you're going to have high stakes. The highest stake was maybe she will find out who she is. Okay, she finds out who she is. Maybe she'll accept. Okay, she's accepted who she is. Like those were the highest of stakes. And the expectations, I think Sarah set the expectations up so high. And this is a compliment because of how aggressively unique in world building she did here with this fantasy world.
Yeah, I marvel at how complex and thought out this fantasy world is. When you read it, you know that she knows exactly everything about this world and you never question it.
Yeah.
You don't question how it functions. You don't question if things are consistent because it's consistent.
I mean, I questioned the whole world because I had no idea what was happening, but I knew it was happening.
I knew it was consistent in what it was doing.
I have no doubt that this is the most consistent fantasy book there ever was.
Yeah, and that's an achievement because not everybody has the capacity to do that, and not everybody has the capacity to read that. There's a reason why I've avoided Lord of the Rings for my entire life.
I have no desire,
No offense to our readers who love Lord of the Rings.
Oh, no, that's all you. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, it's not me. That was the first book series in my life. Everyone was like, it's so good. I'm like, fuck that.
I can't handle the movies. They're too boring for me. I stand no chance with the books. I know that.
Yeah, same.
I don't get to look at Orlando Bloom.
I don't see his face in the pages.
No. Grab a snack, stretch your legs, and listen to this while we plot our next move. There's something about fall food that is just so cozy and yet so difficult to make, mainly because there's always a million different ingredients. Half the battle is just even going grocery shopping, and luckily with HelloFresh, it takes out all of the hard parts.
HelloFresh provides healthy ingredients with high protein and veggie-packed recipes, and it helps you eat greener and leaner if that's what you're looking for.
Plus, if you really want to dive into more fall foods, HelloFresh has doubled its menu. Now you can choose from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Dig into bigger portions that'll keep everyone satisfied. Their portions are very generous.
The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/BookTok10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life.
1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied at discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
That's HelloFresh.com/BookTok10FM. BookTalk10FM to get 10 free meals and a free item for life. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
Summer might be over, but hydration is never over.
I need it more than ever now that it's back to school season.
Thank goodness for Liquid IV because that is what's getting me hydrated and ready for the fall.
Liquid IV is scientifically formulated to help replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from sweat or exercise.
3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients all in a single stick.
1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water is more hydrating than water alone.
Liquid IV has their new Liquid IV's Energy Multiplier Sugar-Free Hydration Energy. This is what I use daily.
It's 0 sugar, 3 times the electrolytes, and 9 essential vitamins for a sugar-free, crash-free boost.
The fact that it has natural caffeine, it's perfect for that jitter-free, sugar-free lift because you know how I react to caffeine.
And you know what? It comes in 2 amazing flavors. They have a sugar-free energy strawberry kiwi and the best sugar-free energy blackberry lemonade.
I had food poisoning this week, and I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you I had my Liquid IV in my giant tumbler, just sipping it, trying to stay hydrated, and I think it saved me.
It's scientifically formulated to support physical energy, hydration, focus, mood, and social stamina, or in Jack's case, food poisoning stamina.
Ditch the glitch with 0 sugar and 0 crash from Liquid IV.
Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with the code BookTalk at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order with code BookTalk. BookTalk at liquidiv.com.
As a kid, there was nothing more important than that next PlayStation game. My parents made us save for that stuff.
If only you had Acorns Early.
Yeah, because I had to carry cash, man. That's hard to keep.
Acorns Early is the smart debit card and money app that grows kids' money skills as they grow up.
If you're one of those parents who likes chore charts, you can start with in-app chores trackers and teach your kids the value of $1.
By doing that, it lets your kids set their own saving goals and start building healthy money habits early. I really wish I had something like this when I was younger.
I wish my parents made me do this now.
Actually, yes.
Kids can spend what they've earned with their very own customizable debit card, giving them that extra sense of independence.
Plus, with Acorns Early's spending limits and real-time spending notifications, you are always going to stay in control, parents.
Ready to teach your kids the smart way to earn, save, and spend? Get your first month on us when you head to acornsearly.com/booktalk or download the Acorns Early app. That's 1 month free when you sign up for acornsearly.com/booktalk. BookTalk.
Acorns Early Card is issued by Community Federal Savings Bank, member FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International. Free trial for new subscribers only. Subscription fees starting from $5 per month unless canceled. Terms apply at acorns.com/early terms. Amy, it is my time to shine because fall is in full swing.
All I want for fall are those big, soft sweaters that I can wear everywhere, but they are way too expensive.
Fortunately, Quince makes it easy to look polished, stay warmed, and save big without compromising on quality.
I love their elevated pieces that are just those go-to essentials for fall, including their 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. You can't get that anywhere else.
I got one of their cardigans last year. It was my favorite cardigan, and it's going to continue to be my favorite cardigan.
I have always wanted one of those giant wool coats, and I've never made the investment because they're so expensive. But I actually can get the quality that I'm looking for a decent price through Quince.
That's because by partnering directly with ethical, top-tier factories and cutting out the middleman, Quince is able to deliver luxury quality pieces at half the price of similar brands. It's the kind of wardrobe upgrade that feels smart, stylish, and effortless.
I love my 100% cotton button-ups that I've got for this summer. They're a perfect transition piece for summer to fall. Keep it classy and cozy this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince.
Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK to get free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk.
So, all that to be said, though, the enormity of the world that she built does suffer under the feebleness of the stakes. And I feel like towards the end of the book, there was a hint at something that's coming that nobody knows about that might have stakes, but there are no stakes presently.
No, the only tense moment that I was like, oh, okay, are we getting into this is when she gets kidnapped by, or not kidnapped, but like involuntarily recruited in this tribe that they're now fighting for her. I thought that was like a pretty funny, like, and now they're going for her and they're fighting for her. And that was the most high stakes, great fight moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. That was all we got. And we kind of just never come back to that either.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of side quests.
It is. And does it all have meaning and allude to things that aren't said yet? Sure. But it all feels happenstance. It all feels disjointed. It's a choose your own adventure, kind of.
It really is a choose your own adventure. It is a very strange book to me because you just have this world that blows my mind. She's created languages. She's created a system. Like, I am truly riveted by it. And then you have a story and a plot that doesn't quite make sense, like, in this world, right? Because it's a romance plot where the only plot that's happening is romance with a few little smidgen things in there. And that counters each other. And then you have the characters that are not high fantasy characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other weird part to me. Like, they read as romantasy characters.
Yep.
And romantasy characters are different from romance characters how they read to me. And because romance characters aren't like, I'm going to stab you, right? Like, they're totally different. So you have this high intense fantasy world. You have these romantasy characters and you have a romance story plot. And all of it just kind of doesn't fit within one another.
It's not as cohesive as I would like it to be, personally.
You're so nice.
I don't want to alienate our listeners who enjoyed this book.
No.
And again, even though we're being critical, it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it.
I thoroughly enjoyed this book.
I think there was so much opportunity with this book that was lost because there was no actual plot or driving force that forced the reveals that came about.
Yeah. It was all driven by impatience.
Mm-hmm.
And for a book that sets up with patience, too much patience for me personally, it becomes very impatient midway through. And it kind of turns into, well, now I want the story to actually start happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm just like, but we could have started the story so much earlier then. Like, we could have cut out. It took 3 chapters of her, like 2 or 3 chapters of her in that damn bar to begin with. Like, there was a point where in the 3rd chapter, I think I looked at it and I was like, are we still here?
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I'm trying to think of where I would start it if I was picking an inciting incident. And it does feel like, at a minimum or maximum, whatever your perspective is, I would start it when she goes back to her home with Essie, because I think that interaction was important. I think that establishing the sadness and the hurt and trying to not be in a situation again where she loves someone and is hurt again, I think that's important. That is
Yeah.
important for the character development and the journey that she and Khan are going to go on. So that's at a minimum where I would have started it. Because then you go Rex Zoros, that's his name. You go right into meeting Rex Zoros. She gets flayed. She's in jail. Like, I can see that being the beats.
Yeah.
And them encountering each other for the first time in the jail. I think that would have been interesting.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, kill off the friend much faster. Like, let's get to it. Let's kill her off. I would have been fine living in flashbacks, like, yeah, but you do need the Rex Zoros, whatever his name is. You do need the initial encounter. I mean, the fact that Khan sees her at the bar, but that doesn't really do anything. It's not until he sees her at the jail that it matters. So then why are we at the bar? Part of the reason why I'm going hard on this is because I think about my book. And I keep coming to my book of like, okay, well, am I cutting it? Like, am I getting cut? Like, can you cut out the beginning of it? What is the point of that first meeting? If that first meeting is him going, she kind of reminds me. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
can't
care
stop
about
thinking about her.
Yeah. Like, that's not as interesting as someone who's walking through the jail stops and goes, you. That so much more interesting. And you cut out point and we're starting right in it.
Yep. And then she goes to trial, then she goes to the Coliseum and then gets taken. Like, that's riveting.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of things that happen in book 2 because she sold herself to the underground people and she's like blood tied to them. And I'm sure that's going to come back in the second book. Hint at these things. Hint at it.
Yeah.
Come back in flashbacks. She loves a flashback. Like there's other ways to get about it. You don't have to show. That's funny. I'm like, don't show me, tell me. But like, you can show me in different ways. You don't have to show it through a whole chapter. I agree that when it comes to her development, it's important to have those things that you covered. Yes. Like I can understand that. Yeah. But the beats, start off with that, make that the first 10%, immediately. The cabin scene, 25%, maybe even the 25%, maybe not even 25, her getting kidnapped by the tribe, 25%. Even sooner. No, I want it all sooner. Like, I want her in the castle sooner than all that.
Yeah, I have a hard time deciding, right? Because if we start that early, there isn't as much attraction to go off of, right? So the cabin scene would not be as intimate, which requires the saving her from the tribe to be a turning point so that they can have a little bit more emotional intimacy later.
You're not missing anything by, because them traveling together, we get to the cabin pretty quickly between when they travel, when he gets her with his dragon and when they get to the cabin. That's pretty fast.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is that.
Yeah. I wouldn't cut it in my hypothetical.
Pardon?
I wasn't going to cut it in my hypothetical. I was just bringing that sooner.
Oh, no. I'm on board with you. What I'm saying is her struggle to not kill him because she feels a draw to him in the cabin scene would be played down a little bit. And there's the intimacy with the laughing and the food.
It wouldn't mean as
much. Right.
But then the hard thing is that it doesn't mean as much now because it goes away so quickly.
True.
And I think what was clever with this is that I feel like it was a play on fated mates.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. Like, this was a different fated mate situation, right? Like, they had this massive, intense love. They adored each other. They're Taylor and Travis, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like love between them, and then she disappears, she dies, and she comes back and there's no memory. So like there is this draw, this pool, and
Mm-hmm.
you bypass the like they're destined for each other and
Yeah.
go into like, well, there's a history.
Fantastic way to pull that.
Yes. I love an amnesia storyline. I love a reincarnation storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I eat that shit up. And I thought that was a really good take on everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I'm okay slightly rushing some of their romantic stuff, because it would justify that. Why am I so attracted to him?
Right.
And I don't, because sometimes, we read that and I'm always like, what the hell? Be like, you're fated mates, but you're not. And this one, I was like, she could get away with that
Yeah.
because of the past life situation.
Yeah.
All right, you start with Rave.
I really liked her personality. Now, it doesn't necessarily fit the high fantasy world, like you said. However,
Yeah.
I like her kind of no bullshit. I want nothing to do with this. It's going to be my way, and move on. I like her internal dialogue. I think,
Yeah.
honestly, her internal dialogue is what kept me going.
Yeah.
Because as much as I enjoy the world around, there were no stakes, right? So, and it makes sense given what I think the point of this book is, which is Rave identifying Elowen inside her and, either making peace or finding a way to be her own new person with both memories and her current situation.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is meaningful and it's important that she has strong inner monologue, because the whole thing is about self-reflection. So, I mean, to that end, I would say Sarah did well.
Yeah.
I did, though, also struggle with the fact that the inner dialogue is repetitious and that the same points get told over and over again with microscopic movement in between, if at all.
Yeah.
Which, to your point, if you cut some of the beginning, if you rush some of like certain points, there would be a lot more movement. And I think that that would have become less of a problem with time.
Yeah, I enjoyed her. I mean, it's another stabby female lead. I both like the stabby female lead, and I'm also, here's another stabby female lead. That's why I'm writing a book where she's not a stabby female lead. It's very formulaic in ways. Now, that being said, I thought she was unique in her humor. So it's not she's just like everyone else. I mean, it's very similar. However, she was funny and, had her own thing that she was going through. I felt like she hinted on this and I would have liked more of it. Once that she's accepted that she is Elowen, that struggle of how will you like me? Because I am Rave. I am someone who's gone through her own shit now. You don't know this person.
Yeah.
And I think what was really good about the diaries is that sounded like a totally different woman.
Yep.
And I thought that, even though when you look at the years, she was only training for a few years. There's only so much badassery that can come in those years. Rave has had several decades of badassery and, figuring things out. So I think that was an element I would have liked to see both Rave struggle with and Khan struggle with more. And he does say at one point, I want to get to know Rave.
Yeah.
But there's not enough distinction between Rave and Elowen. We, the reader, I think, could pick that up between the diary and what we're reading with the diary and what we're seeing with Rave.
Yeah.
I think that it was very subtle and a really good plot point, a really good character development and character arc. Would have liked to see more of that. It was there, but it was an interesting part of Rave.
Yeah, I completely agree. I appreciate that she wrestled for a little bit about I'm Elowen, but I'm not Elowen. And these people are going to confuse me. And so it's better to just not engage because I can't be who they need me to be.
Yeah.
because I'm a completely different person. That to me was a more compelling conflict than I don't want to lose people I love.
Yes.
And so I wish we had had more of that. And I honestly wish Khan had struggled more with that too,
Mm-hmm.
right? I wish he had more of a journey to understand that Rave is not Elowen.
I so agree with you. It would have been really nice to see a certain grieving point for him
Mm-hmm.
because there's a moment where he gets Elowen back and he is so excited. It's like, it's her. It's Elowen. I got her, guys. Look what I brought home, And it would have been nice to see a moment of saying, she's truly not back. There's elements, and this is a reincarnation of her, and there are parts of it, but this is not the woman that he loved.
Yeah.
And that would have been a great way of making them have to fall in love with each other, like fall in love with each other all over again.
Yep.
And get to know one another. And that would have been more. Like, I want more. I want more of that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like, and it could have been achieved in little ways, right? He
Mhm.
calls her Moonbeam because he called Elowen Moonbeam, but at some point, when he understands she's not Elowen, he calls her something else.
Yeah, that would have been great.
It's not just about calling her by Elowen's middle name.
Yeah.
It's about understanding that she is a completely different identity. And I think that would have been a nice touch. Yeah.
Because that would have also given us more of an arc for her.
Yeah.
By her accepting her own identity and knowing that that she is both Rave and Elowen and that you cannot have one without the other at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a nice thing to see. And then at least we get an arc. Like if the storyline is them, these characters, their love, their growth, then I need to see that growth, that love, their arc. Like then make me hungry for it. Or, think about it more and something for me to dig my teeth into, because right now it's just them being, no, I can't love you. Everyone I loved is gone. And then he's like, Elowen, Elowen, Elowen. And it's like one track mind, my buddy. That's
Mm-hmm.
It's Elowen. Oh my God, it's Elowen. It's like, she's different now. Accept her.
Yeah.
She needs to be able to leave. And it's funny because I keep thinking about what happens in this book. And I know more happens because it's 20 hours long. And it's just bunching up to just like a few scenes for me.
I completely agree. And I think what's sad for me is that more of the first half before they get to Dom is what stands out to me.
Yeah.
It's once they get to Dom and there are more perspectives and they spend time apart and she's starting to figure out the Elowen stuff, that's where it starts to get murky. Whereas at least I felt like there was movement in the first part.
Yeah. For a book, I kept thinking this throughout the whole thing. I'm like, for a book that describes a lot, I really don't know. I can't visualize anything.
That's fair.
And I'm a visual person. I'm a
Mhm.
very visual person. And it just kept describing things. And even with Rave, this is a note I remember telling you. I liked Rave, and part of the things I struggled with Rave is that this is done in first person. And when you have very flowery language coming from a first person, it needs to make sense. If that's how, then that's who that person is. Rave is not a flowery person. If you had made Elowen's diary entries really flowery, then I could have been able to say, like that makes sense. But we're not getting that. Like Elowen's diary entries are actually very simplistic.
Yeah.
And you have to think about like you as an individual and human. When you look at the flowers, are you thinking the marvelous petals remind me of the eyes of the lover I once, like, is it really flowery, or are you looking at it and be like, oh my God, that looks like my ex's eyes? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was so like you would go from this like really flowery language to that's a bunch of dragon shit.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, it's not that you can't have nice prose. You just can't have all the prose be nice,
Yeah.
right? Because we all get, reflective. We all think deep thoughts at some point, but it's not all day, every day about the silly piece of work that I got to work on at work.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work that I used in one sentence. I apologize.
You worked hard for that.
I really did. But I agree with your point. I think back to Feyre in A Court of Thorns and Roses, we get her perspective, and there are beautiful prose in there, but it's not all the time.
No, her prose made sense sometimes of how short. I mean, that's why people think she was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have a lot, because, she's just trying to survive. She didn't have a lot to go on about. Like, she's just trying to get to what matters.
Right.
And it wasn't just her, all the prose. I mean, all the point of views kind of did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that, I mean, the only one that didn't have that was the sister.
Rexaurus.
Oh, and Rex, yeah. I think at one point he talked about going down on a woman. I'm like, why are we having these villains eat women out? All right.
I thought about that too. I was like, wow, good for you, sir.
Yeah, right? I was like, okay, so you're bad? Like, I don't... Once again, I'm struggling with what we defined as bad here.
I know. The second we had his perspective, I was like, am I supposed... I mean, he's horny and he's not good, but am I developing empathy?
Yeah, kind of, right? Because I was like, did we confirm, like, does he assault women? Is that how, we, at the very beginning, I felt like they kind of alluded to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then make them more, creepy at the end, rather than, I actually thought it was kind of funny of, hey, I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to let him get laid tonight. I actually was like, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I think that was very kind of him.
Oh, we're not the right people to judge moral character.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's giving, go have some sex, go fuck. That's all right. Go. You want to eat a woman out? Someone get that man a medal. That's... Thank you for listening to part 1 of this week's episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. Stick around for part 2, which airs on Thursday.
We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform. If you would like to submit your take on any of the books we plan to discuss later this autumnish, please be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we ask for listener thoughts and submissions.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk. Bye.
Bye. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
Summer might be over, but hydration is never over.
I need it more than ever now that it's back to school season.
Thank goodness for Liquid IV, because that is what's getting me hydrated and ready for the fall.
Liquid IV is scientifically formulated to help replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from sweat or exercise.
3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients, all in a single stick.
1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water is more hydrating than water alone.
Liquid IV has their new Liquid IV's Energy Multiplier Sugar-Free Hydration Energy. This is what I use daily.
It's 0 sugar, 3 times the electrolytes, and 9 essential vitamins for a sugar-free, crash-free boost.
The fact that it has natural caffeine, it's perfect for that jitter-free, sugar-free lift, because you know how I react to caffeine.
And you know what? It comes in 2 amazing flavors. They have a sugar-free energy strawberry kiwi and the best sugar-free energy blackberry lemonade.
I had food poisoning this week, and I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you I had my Liquid IV in my giant tumbler, just sipping it, trying to stay hydrated, and I think it saved me.
It's scientifically formulated to support physical energy, hydration, focus, mood, and social stamina, or in Jack's case, food poisoning stamina.
Ditch the glitch with 0 sugar and 0 crash from Liquid IV.
Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with the code BookTalk at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order with code BookTalk. BookTalk at liquidiv.com.
As a kid, there was nothing more important than that next PlayStation game. My parents made us save for that stuff.
If only you had Acorns Early.
Yeah, because I had to carry cash, man. That's hard to keep.
Acorns Early is the smart debit card and money app that grows kids' money skills as they grow up.
If you're one of those parents who likes chore charts, you can start with in-app chores trackers and teach your kids the value of $1.
By doing that, it lets your kids set their own saving goals and start building healthy money habits early. I really wish I had something like this when I was younger.
I wish my parents made me do this now.
Actually, yes.
Kids can spend what they've earned with their very own customizable debit card, giving them that extra sense of independence.
Plus, with Acorns Early's spending limits and real-time spending notifications, you are always going to stay in control, parents.
Ready to teach your kids the smart way to earn, save, and spend? Get your first month on us when you head to acornsearly.com/BookTok or download the Acorns Early app. That's 1 month free when you sign up for acornsearly.com/BookTalk. BookTalk.
Acorns Early Card is issued by Community Federal Savings Bank, member FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International. Free trial for new subscribers only. Subscription fees starting from $5 per month unless canceled. Terms apply at acorns.com/early terms. Amy, it is my time to shine because fall is in full swing.
All I want for fall are those big, soft sweaters that I can wear everywhere, but they are way too expensive.
Fortunately, Quince makes it easy to look polished, stay warmed, and save big without compromising on quality.
I love their elevated pieces that are just those go-to essentials for fall, including their 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. You can't get that anywhere else.
I got one of their cardigans last year. It was my favorite cardigan, and it's going to continue to be my favorite cardigan.
I have always wanted one of those giant wool coats, and I've never made the investment because they're so expensive, but I actually can get the quality that I'm looking for a decent price through Quince.
That's because by partnering directly with ethical, top-tier factories and cutting out the middleman, Quince is able to deliver luxury quality pieces at half the price of similar brands. It's the kind of wardrobe upgrade that feels smart, stylish, and effortless.
I love my 100% cotton button-ups that I've got for this summer. They were a perfect transition piece for summer to fall. Keep it classy and cozy this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince.
Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk. BookTalk to get free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk.